Yeah, Greg, it's a lock that Jackson Flora is going to be the top pitcher drafted this year, and it's actually the third time in 12 drafts because we can't forget about Dylan Tate back in 2015. And Jackson, just tell people who may not realize what a pitching factory UC Santa Barbara is and why. Andrew Checkett's, Dylan Jones, and the job they do there.
Yeah, I think it all starts, with the culture that we built at Santa Barbara of guys, working hard all the time. And, I think there's a lot of respect for the coaches as well, for Coach Jones and Coach Checkett's, that, pitchers realize, how knowledgeable they are and how much that they can help them, that they listen and they do the work. Everything is very individualistic. They're not cookie-cuttering guys trying to turn everybody into the same pitcher. And it's, pitching to your strengths, making your strengths better, and giving you the knowledge and the opportunity to help yourself and go make yourself better.
To your point on individualization, Tyler Bremner is selected as the first pitcher in last year's draft. He's a very different arm than you. He's more of your pronator, throws hard, really good changeup feel. You're kind of the opposite. You cut your fastball, your breaking balls are sick. Talk me through your mix.
Yeah, the four-seam fastball has kind of been a big focus this year, trying to get more ride, like that cut ride that you were talking about. Get more swing and misses at the top of the zone, work at the bottom of the zone early in counts. Probably my favorite pitch is that hard slider. I love throwing that thing. I could throw it 100 times in a row, which is kind of like a more elevated slider. It spins really well, still gets good horizontal movement on it. And then the sweeping slider is kind of where, you kind of get like a little bit more speed differential. It's in the low 80s, high 70s a lot of the time, and that can kind of change guys' eye levels. And it's good, too, when guys see the same spin kind of twice, but it's two different pitches, so they may think, oh, that's a hard slider, now it's a sweeper and it's out of the zone, or, oh, that's a sweeper, it's going to run off the plate, and it's not, it's the hard slider. So it's kind of good to have those two different sliders that play really well off each other. And then probably the biggest pitch of the year was the kick changeup, which was, another thing that Checkett's and Coach Jones helped me. They're like, dude, your low-hanging fruit is the changeup. That's going to make you such a better pitcher, and we really went to work on it in the fall and in the winter before the season, and it turned into a weapon this year. That's just killing spin on the pitch, getting it to drop. I like it a lot because I can still throw it hard. I don't have to slow down my arm or anything like that, so that pitch has been awesome.
What kind of reactions do you see from hitters? Because I want to say, if I have the numbers right, I think you threw like maybe 2% changeups as a sophomore, and it's like 15% changeups. And when you were on our podcast a couple weeks ago, you were talking about there was a game early on where you threw 34 changeups or something.
Yeah.
What are hitters reacting? Because if I'm hitting against you, I got to have slider in the back of my mind, and you can carve me up the four seam, and all of a sudden I see this kick change. I'm like, oh my God.
Yeah, I think that's why it was so effective, is just because I didn't throw very many changeups my freshman or sophomore year, and teams were prepared to face fastballs and sliders. And then, once I'm able to be comfortable and mix in the kick changeup, now they can't really sit or start guessing on pitches, and they kind of have to react a little more. So, I'm not a hitter, so I don't know what they're thinking, but that pitch was awesome this year.
Two quick ones for you before we get you out of here. Hitter you're most excited to face in the show, and who do you comp your game to as a pitcher?
The hitters I'm most excited to face, well, I hope I get to face some Santa Barbara hitters that were drafted out of my freshman year. A lot of those guys had my number when I was a freshman in the fall. Aaron Parker, Ivan Bredauer, those guys that were drafted out of Santa Barbara, so it'd be fun to face those dudes. And then a pitcher that I comp myself to, I think a pitcher that I enjoy watching is Hunter Green, just because he has the hard fastball, hard slider. And I think the splitter and the kick change are kind of comparable to each other. I love watching Matt Brash throw sliders. I could watch him till my eyes bleed. So I think that, those are two guys that I enjoy watching pitch, for sure.